Hello, and welcome to the first lecture of this new section on training, educating the teams continuously for crisis management. So, in this section, we're going to talk to you about how can you train and educating your teams continuously so that they're fully prepared to manage crisis, handle the crisis when it required. And we will specifically talk about one aspect of that in this lecture of conducting annual crisis simulation exercises. We are in the middle of talking about the post-crisis learning and continuous improvement, and there we are talking about having done the post-crisis learning and continuous improvement, how can we train and educate the teams continuously by conducting annual crisis simulation exercises? So first, let's understand that running annual crisis simulation exercises is crucial to test your crisis management plan, identify gaps, and improve response speed as well as coordination. Now, how it helps it allows your crisis management team to practice decision making under pressure and ensure readiness for real world scenarios. So that's how it helps, and that's why will look at how to do that. So, first step would be to set clear objectives for the simulation because defining the goals of the exercise ensures a focused and effective drill. So, define the clear objectives for the simulation. And what could be these objectives? That could be like testing crisis escalation protocols. It could be evaluating communication strategies, both internal and external. It could be assessing decision making speed of the team. It could be identifying gaps in the roles and responsibility or testing cybersecurity, defense, and supply chain resilience. So these could be the various objectives you could set for the simulation. Second step would be to select the right crisis scenario because different scenarios help to prepare for different types of crisis. And what are the common types of crisis scenario? The first one could be a cyber attack or a data breach, or there could be product recalls or quality failures. There could be PR or reputational crises with social media backlash. There could be natural disasters or business disruption, and or it could be regulatory violation or legal issue. So this could be the different types, and you need to select many of them to prepare as applicable for your business. Third step is to then build a realistic simulation environment because a high pressure, real time environment replicates actual crisis conditions and works better. And for that, what you need to do is to involve key players from different departments. And these could be like crisis management team, legal compliance and PR team, IT security team, operations and supply chain team, customer support, and HR people. Then you use real-time data and communication channels. And what you need to do there is to simulate social media monitoring tools like Hootsuite and Meltwater, use real-time decision-making platforms, and trigger fake media statements and customer complaints. Now, Google in 2023 ran cybersecurity breach simulation across all global offices to test IT defenses and employee response protocols. Next step then is to assign roles and responsibilities because clear role assignments prevents confusion and delays during a real crisis. And what are the kind of roles and responsibility you can assign? For the crisis manager, you need to assign the responsibility of overseeing overall response strategy, and the spokesperson would be given the responsibility of handling media and public communication. The legal advisor should be asked to ensure regulatory, compliances. The social media team should be asked to monitor public sentiments and misinformation. IT and security lead should manage technical responses, and HR lead should communicate with employees and stakeholders. So these are the various roles and responsibility you need to assign. Fifth step is to execute the simulation in phases because a step-by-step rollout allows team to react and adapt in real time. Now, what are the phases of a simulation? First is the crisis detection. Uh, let's say in case of a social media backlash or a data breach alert kind of a thing that happens. So you need to talk about detecting the crisis well in time. Second, then is to escalate an activation of the crisis management team. Third step phase would be internal communication, where you notify executives and employees. The fourth would be public communication and media response. And the fifth will be issue resolution and recovery action activation. So you need to execute the simulation in these phases. Then you evaluate performance and document learnings from the drill. And because post exercise evaluation is critical for continuous improvement. Now, how can you do this? You need to track matrices. What are matrices you need to track? One is the response time. How quickly did you respond? Decision making efficiency. Were you making decisions well in time and good decisions? Communication clarity. Were the communications clear? Employee and stakeholder feedback, and media sentiment analysis. So these are the key matrices that you need to track. Then you conduct a post simulation debrief, and in which you ask questions like what worked well, what were the bottlenecks, and how can the crisis plan be improved. Now, in the last step would be to create a post-exercise report, obviously, in where you identify gaps and weaknesses, recommend policy updates and training improvement. So that's how you can evaluate performance and document learnings from the drill. The seventh step would be to integrate lessons into crisis management plan, the CMP, where the first step would be to refine the crisis communication protocols. Then second would be to update pre-approved messaging templates, improve crisis communication channels, and strengthen cybersecurity measures. So that's the seventh step that you need to take. So let's take a look at a real world example. And this is to you to get to know that Coca-Cola runs annual crisis simulation across global markets across the world to test product recall strategies and ensure consistent global messaging during reputation crises. So the key thing is the globality of doing the things. And here you see a case study of Coca-Cola falsifying and polluting as a reputation crisis that they were facing and how they went about. You can come back and take a look at that. So what are the final takeaways? So first is to run annual crisis simulation with realistic scenario that are relevant for your business. Second would be to test response speed, communication clarity, and decision making. Third is to document gaps and continuous update your crisis management plan. And lastly, strengthen team collaboration and cross-departmental collaboration. So what do we do next? So in the next lecture, we will take a look at how to keep employees informed on best practices for training and educating teams continuously. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on training and educating team continuously in this course, Crisis Management. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to do, especially that Coca-Cola case study that I took you through and did not explain because everything was self-evident there.